But regardless, definitely had a fantastic time, and thank you all so much. Also, thank you, Railbird, for reminding me to check out the tournament banners and giving a quick thought, because we might as well throw that in on the end of the stream today. And in fact, I think I have this all set up to just yoink. Let's get rid of that background, and let's take a peek here at my banners. There's my Gargoyle Fire Elementalist that didn't come even close to being able to be beaten before the tournament ended. But very fun, very strong. Anyway, let's get into these, shall we? So Explorer, pretty straightforward, nothing too fancy there. Slow and Steady was the streak that surprised me. Absolutely shocking. I'm not a huge fan of streaking on purpose, for myself, I should say. I love it when other people do it. Watching, like, you know, someone like Yermak or Geoff go through a streak, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, you're right, they're not on screen. I forgot to transition. They were just on the one frame. Whoopsie daisies. There you go. Thank you so much, Round Llama, saving me from my own technical ineptitude. But for myself, I generally don't streak on purpose. I just kind of hope it happens. And we've got 4 wins somehow having that mentality. I think twice? We've gone 4 wins twice, which is wild to me. Maybe the second one was just 3. Regardless, let's keep going through, shall we? Heretic, I've never gone this banner, not even outside of a tournament. Because I just, for whatever reason, I've never really been into abandoning gods in this game, which is kind of strange. I don't even know if I've ever done it. I've definitely transferred from a good god to a different good god. I've transferred gods in the other kind of edge cases where it's allowed. But definitely not one that I have too much interest in, though I could see fun. I wish that these became like abandon and mollify multiple gods in the same game, because that would be pretty interesting to see what happened. So that'd be wild. Railbird, you've never abandoned Sif Moon in all your play? See, okay, a fellow monogamous worshiper, I guess, is the best way to put that. I can't help it. Once I've given my love, attention, and doting admiration to a deity, just got to keep it going in that regard. But let's keep heading through here. Politician, steal a combo, high score. I have no idea how scoring works in this game. Never been on the competitive side of it too much, so I don't actually know how this works. It sounds like it could be fun, because I do enjoy the competitive aspect of it and adding some interaction between players within the tournament. The rest of these are very much just, at your own pace, do your own thing. These ones are a little bit more interesting in that regard, so I do like that, even though I would never be able to do it because I have no idea how high scores work, and I don't know what a combo high score in particular is, so that's wild. Pious, this is up my alley. I like banners that make you more flexible, make you explore new avenues, try out things that you might never have seen before. It's why I liked the addition of Genie so much, because it does that for spells. Similarly, Pious does that for gods, making sure that you're experimenting with different deities. I mean, throughout the course of this very series, it's gotten me to experience a lot of deities that I'd never actually tried out before. Wujian Council, I'm so sad that I never tried out before, because that was so much fun, that run. And so I definitely see myself worshipping them a lot more in the future. Of course, Nature's Ally, first 2, kind of boring, but the Orb run through Tomb, so fun. So this was definitely, the first one that I kind of thought of and mentioned. Avarice, that is not interesting, not that interesting. Find the Iron Rune before entering Pandemonium or any branch of the dungeon containing any other rune. Okay. I do like that. Needing to get this first. Again, this kind of falls under the umbrella of things that cause you to do something completely unusual and kind of out of pocket from what you normally expect from a dungeon crawl run. So I like that. Makes things interesting. Very cool. I mentioned I love this because I love Faded Altars. No other way to go about it. Absolutely fantastic. Gelatinous Body. Reaching levels, get runes with distinct species. This falls under similar to Pious, where I do really enjoy the flexibility of it. Railbird, you managed to do an orb run of Tomb in the 0.27 tournament. That's incredible. Well done. Yeah, the only experience I have with orb running Tomb is watching Ultraviolent 4 do it, and, you know, that was good enough for me. In fact, I'd highly recommend, if you haven't seen anyone attempt it before, there's a good resource to do so. Ultraviolent, of course, always was a great content creator, so I highly recommend all of their stuff, but that one in particular is a lot of fun. And the Lord of Darkness also very much hits the spot when it comes to doing things differently, out of order, not going to lair, completely changes the way you have to play your game, and I find that fascinating, super interesting, and a whole lot of fun. Spiteful, become the champion of Rue, the first step towards betraying Rue, okay? And then abandon them and become a champion of a different god, win the game in which you do this. Wait, but in this one, you become the champion and abandon before entering any branches other than temple and lair. Okay, so that's interesting. It's unique, so I guess it does get that bonus for me. I don't know how often I would go about this. Mostly does contain that keyword abandon here, and I ain't about that life, but sounds fun. A speed demon, super fun. I'm never going to get close to this. I'm not going to pretend to be able to touch this banner because I am a slow player, at least relatively slow. But I enjoy the idea of speedruns and have tried to do some minor ones in the past, so that's awesome. You got that one 9th? That's fantastic. Did you get tier 3? Did you beat the game in 3 hours? I think probably the best time that I've ever gotten is somewhere above that, probably around 4 hours. And yeah, you did. Wow, nice job. Congrats. Which combo did you go in for that? Was it like a deep dwarf, what have you, or something a bit more obscure, and you just kind of had a godly run with it? Because that can definitely happen. Nemlek's Choice, a Vinestalker fighter of Wujian. Ooh, nice. So that is a little bit off the beaten path. I like it. I still need to try Vinestalkers at some point. They've been in the game for so long, and I've just never experienced the glory that is an out-of-control Vinestalker. You also got this guy a banner in that same run. Well done. Let's see, let's skip ahead a little bit. Which one is the... Where are you? Husky Boy, Graceful. Oh, right, I did hear you talking about this one, collecting the orb within 270. No, yeah, that's super fun. Very much related to the speedrun, though it's hard actually to get both. I think that's actually a feat on its own, because playing fast, as well as taking very few actions in-game, is a pretty wild mix. You have to be quick on your feet and thinking really quickly kind of as you go along. So well done, 9th. That's incredible. Nemlek's Choice. I mean, you might have guessed from how we played, especially in the 0.27 tournament. This is probably actually my favorite banner because I love Nemlek's Choice. I think it's such a fun concept. I really love that, again, it's making people go into creative combos, things that they've never tried before, things that don't even make sense some of the time. And that's part of the fun of it, really, to me. So I do very much enjoy Nemlek's Choice. Didn't get to experiment with it quite as much this time around, but usually one of my go-tos, especially again in the last tournament, played a whole lot. That character is just unreal for you. And there's some pretty easy Nemlek's choices. You did Genie, Cinder Acolyte, Draconian, the same, Houndhunga Hunter, and Tengu. What? Not Tengu Necromancer. Okay, I would have been surprised because Tengu and I have a very, very interesting relationship. Who's a good species Necromancer? Definitely not Tengu. I'm glad we're on the same page. I've learned to hate the bird. As much as thematically I really enjoy them, and very much when I first started playing the game, I played it a whole lot, but that's fun. Baraki Necromancer makes sense, yeah. Well, I found it interesting that a lot of them were Cinder Acolytes, because I imagine that's more of a newness bias than any of the kind of usual like crappy combinations, because it is based on just the number of wins on the online servers over the course of the time frame, whatever it is, right? So if people just haven't played it that much, then it gets put in as well as being something that is just straight up bad. Yeah, if it was like that, okay. That makes sense, but still it's a sweet time. It's a good push to get to enjoy the Cinder Acolytes a bit more and make sure that they're getting well tested, even though I guess that mostly happened in Trunks, so just ignore me. But Conqueror, have to repeat myself here, I don't know how scoring works in this game. I'm assuming it's some mix of like the lower experience and the lower your turn count is, the higher your score is. The more exploration you do, the higher your score is. Obviously, the more runes you pick up, higher score. Might just be experience based to a certain degree even. But I couldn't tell you. Maybe I'll look into it one day. Turn count plus runes equals score pretty much. Okay. And yeah, more turns does equal less score. So, okay, wasn't too far off, but that makes sense. Very cool. Thank you for the clarification as well, Ninth. I appreciate it. I'll still probably look into it at some point because I'm curious, but that is fun. Let's see. Prophet. Enter Lair Beast with Invocation as your highest skill. So this was the one that Colgate was going through a bunch and managed to get definitely tier 1. I forget what our team got in general here. But this is interesting. I'm trying to think of where, I mean, like a Hill Orc of BO, pretty straightforward. You pretty much will want invocations to be cranked up anyway. So that works out. Over the course of the tournament, win with 3 different gods and invocations as your highest skill. So I like the end there. You got this one too, all the way to tier 3 as well. Nicely done. But this one isn't that interesting to me because I feel like it's just good on a lot of characters. I mean, generally, you won't have invocations as your highest skill on the average run if you weren't playing for the banner. But I also feel pretty generous in my experience distribution when I'm playing. I find that as long as you're able to spend the time to kind of branch out, you can always regain that experience later if need be. The caveat to that is certain species become a little bit stricter. When you're playing on like a mummy, it can be a bit of a challenge and you might want to be a little more careful with how you're delegating that. Especially back in the day when like everyone was doing mummy summoners and your summons took most of your XP, but they were the only way that you could survive the early part of the dungeon. So it was a tough mix and you were, you know, really kind of paying attention to each and every point and where it went. But that aside, if you're playing on one of the stronger species, it's not that interesting to me, but it's still a great banner. I probably should go for this at some point, really. That would make sense, especially since I'm kind of acting all high and mighty about the ease of which one could achieve the first part, I should say. Just the first part. But let's see. Aesthetic. Reach the economical temple without using any potions or scrolls. End of lair with the same, or collect a rune without that. Ooh. Now that I do like. I mean, first thing that comes to mind, play as a mummy. Pretty straightforward. Can't read scrolls, so that's going to be a tough one. Actually, I kind of regret that, because even though it removes the temptation of potions from you, you're going to struggle probably. So just, I guess this would be play as a strong species and just get through without needing any emergency measures. But this would be fun if you didn't get a god run and you kind of like grinded through a really tough run, playing carefully, playing safe, but overall not that exciting, I guess. So maybe interesting a little bit, not exciting though, so I probably wouldn't find myself going for aesthetic too often here. Lore Keeper, reach the last level of lairs non-formicid without raising any skill to 13. Win with all skills below 20, or win with all skills below 13. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. I could see that being a fun one. Win without raising any skill to 13. I've probably never even come close to that. So that's an interesting one. I think I like Lore Keeper a decent amount. Vow of Courage. Kill Sigmund before entering the depths. Apparently I got that one. Okay. Sigmund, not as scary as I used to find them. I feel like when I first started playing, I was terrified, but nowadays, I kind of work around the problem. And I don't think Sigmund has killed me since I started streaming DCSS. I'm probably wrong about that, right? Probably like threw some flame and sniped me. But because I can't remember, I'm gonna pretend it's true. Sigmund hasn't killed me in a long time. But to get 4 runes before entering depths, I probably should have gone for that. And 6 runes before entering depths. Oh right, I talked a little bit about this one, because that confused me. So the first 5, that's easy. It's your 3 S branches. I almost said slime. 3 S branches, vaults, and I was gonna say abyss. Yeah, you just need a distortion weapon and you can banish yourself. So and abyss. And I couldn't think of the 6th one, but it's tomb, isn't it? Or you just hope. The better way to get this, I would assume, and probably the easier way in a lot of regards, is to just hope that you get the like hell ending or the abyssal ending for Lair. I guess even a pan ending. Can there be a pan ending on Lair? There can definitely be pan gates in Orc. So I guess one of those, and then you can get one of the extended late game runes before entering depths. Because I'd rather do that than go to tomb. Oh my gosh. Before entering depths, going through tomb? I hope not. But what else have we got? Brute force. So I got this one here. I found that it's kind of boring. Like it wasn't too challenging. I just played a Minotaur fighter, and a Minotaur fighter is just too strong. Especially I got super lucky, don't get me wrong. Having that +9 electric broadaxe and +11 scale mail before getting through Lair, absolutely wild. Just allowed me to tap through a lot of my issues in life. But I definitely enjoy the flavor and how interesting a lot of the god abilities are, and having the god, part of your interactions. So I'd probably stay away from this. You got the Vow of Courage, 2/9, I think you're saying. Did Abyss and Tomb before Depths. Oh, holy moly, you did Tomb before Depths. Way to go. It was not awful, but the character was also very busted. And funnily enough, you tried with Pan Orc and got dumpstered. Oh no. But congrats, that's awesome. And yeah, Pan Gates and Orcs seem easiest for the 6 runes before Depths, especially with new hells, right? That's something I wasn't kind of taking into consideration. New hells, or hot hells, I guess as they're called, is probably a little bit more of a nightmare than it used to be back in the day. We saw Graceful, again, similar to Speedrun. I think that it's fun, changes the way you play in a lot of ways. Specifically, I like the tier 3 on this one, because that's wild. That's really tough. Collecting the silver rune within 540 is a bit more manageable to a certain extent. I don't know, with this one, I'd almost want to just play a Cinder Acolyte, get a lucky teleport, apport the rune into my pocket, and then just blast off through the ceiling so I don't have to deal with vaults. Sounds like the way to do it to me. What else have we got? Ruthless Efficiency. This is, winning while underleveled, or making progress, shall we say, while underleveled. Again, similar to the speedrun ones, Speedrun and Graceful. I think that this just kind of slightly tweaks your playstyle, and so that's interesting, but I don't know how often I'd go for it. I've never really tried an underleveled run too much. I think the lowest level win that I've ever gotten was like level 23 or something like that. But that's largely because I usually get distracted and want to explore off the beaten path, find some fancy artifacts or the like, even if it's not necessary for a really strong character. I'm too tempted to do so. Enter the temple in under 3,000 turns, enter the 3rd floor of the Elven Halls in under 9,000, and final floor of Gehenna in under 27,000. So similar to the speedrunning. I think it's interesting. I like this actually slightly better. I like the targeted stuff, which is why I probably like Graceful more than I like the speedrunning one to a certain extent. Because I do enjoy the specificity of it, and that it becomes more of a puzzle challenge. How can I get to the 3rd floor of Elven Halls in under 9,000 turns? What is the best path forward to do so? Do I play as a Formicid and just tunnel my way down as much as possible in all the various branches? Maybe. Regardless, definitely interesting there. Descent into Madness, I love ziggurats. Ziggurats are probably one of my favorite parts of the entire game. Super fun, super interesting. I wish this is what the Gargoyle Fire Elementalist that never even got close to endgame before the end of the tournament because I just didn't have the time. I made expressly because I wanted to try and clear a full ziggurat, at least one for the points. But unfortunately, I just got to floor 12 with my Atheist Minotaur Fighter. So, I mean, still happy with that. I was chugging lignification potions anytime a single Tormentor appeared, but it was definitely fun. I love ziggurats. Super cool. And Harvest. Kill 27 distinct uniques. Oh, okay, so this is just killing uniques. I have a hard time really getting into Harvest. I think it's fun. Actually, wait, this one doesn't include ghosts. Your unique hunting score includes ghosts, but 78. That's just uniques, right? Not ghosts? Because that's the total number, I believe. I know there was a little bit of debate on Ninth Stream the other day when I was seeing people chat about this. But I kind of like these because I like challenges about, yeah, again, trying to make sure that you're taking these fights with uniques that you might just completely ignore rather. You see Tiamat, maybe you just don't go to that floor. Forcing yourself to have to take that fight, maybe not then and there, but at some point during your run, I think that's super fun. The crappy part about this is that it's a bit of a random buckshot thing. You might just get the same 27 uniques in every game that you play, and that's just unfortunate for you. So that's too bad. If there was some way to force this, but I don't know if there is while keeping like the kind of integrity of the game intact, then I'd be tempted to take that route over the just like hope that you get those last two uniques. Getting the tier 3 banner on this must be a nightmare. Because if you just haven't seen Maglotl, that sucks. If you just haven't seen Dissolution, that's too bad. Is the Serpent of Hell in this? I guess that's another one that only appears in some games and not all of them. Even if you go to the proper place. Killed Ignacio twice, but you did not find Pargi? Exactly. No, it's rough. So unfortunately, I have a harder time going hard on the Harvest, but it's a fun one still to have in the background. I'm just trying to give a full rendition, I guess, of all my random thoughts that crop up in my head when looking at the banners, so I'll just do that, I guess. You only went into Extended 3 times. Yeah, no, it helps to see more uniques to go into Extended, especially with a lot of those higher power level uniques, but it's still in no way guarantees it, unfortunately. But last of all here, we have Angel of Justice. Enter either Pandemonium or any branch of Hell. I should have entered one Pandemonium portal on my Minotaur Fighter character, but I didn't actually know that it was that easy. Kill at least one unique Panlord, or at least one unique Helllord over the course of the tournament. So you have to get tier 1s in order to get tier 2s, right? Because I killed, I think, 3 Panlords on that character. Oh, but not a unique. Never mind. Does the unique have to be the specially named ones? Or does that include any of them? I'd guess that's specially named ones because it's grouped up with this. You missed one unique for that banner? Oh no. Which one? And the last one is kill all 4 unique Panlords, all 4 unique Helllords, and the Serpent of Hell at least once over the course of the tournament. So yeah, the Serpent of Hell, I think, is never guaranteed to show up in a game. You could explore throughout all of Hell, never find it. That's too bad. You needed either one of Murray, Dissolution, or Ignacio. That's definitely too bad. Oh, and that's for the Harvest banner, right? I think that's what we were talking about in your chat when I remembered the argument over how many uniques there were in the game and how many ghosts counted and whatnot. But nice try, that's very close, for sure. But those are the tough ones to find. I mean, Ignacio, I guess. Ignacio? I feel like I normally know how to pronounce that name, but I'm blanking right now. But I'm trying to remember, Murray is the skull, right? That can appear in the vestibule. Because I think that's a reference to Torment, but I could be wrong. And I remember I think I've only seen Murray once. before. Dissolution, I've definitely only seen one time, and I just ran in the other direction. But Dissolution is a tough one to find. Brain, the highlight of your tournament was stabbing Dissolution. That sounds super satisfying for sure. Oh man, probably one of the highlights over my entire series of Win with Every Species is getting the one-shot Wujian stab on the Royal Jelly. Because it was so cool to walk in, stab the Royal Jelly, nothing happened, and then I took one step and all of a sudden slimes just blew into existence out of nowhere. It killed the Royal Jelly so fast that the game didn't even know how to handle it, and so there was a little bit of a delay. Wujian, you're so fun. And that's why I am so glad that we had somebody in chat way back then suggest Wujian Council to me, because otherwise I might never have discovered that beautiful moment. So I'm very happy with that. Highlight of this tournament for me was probably trying actually to get through the where was the Ziggurat one? Trying to go through a Ziggurat on my Atheist Minotaur, because it was really tough, and it was like very much creative problem solving. I was trying so hard to like pinpoint how far can I push this. I had 4 blinking scrolls, so I knew if I came to a bad branch, I could blink my way through and leave. And in fact, I think I got a Pan floor on 12, and it had 4 Pan Lords, all of which were too strong for me to fight at the time. At least on their own, because I think multiple of them had Abjuration, and my usual strategy was using Phantom Mirror, Box of Beasts, what have you, and that was just not an option with Abjuration, unfortunately. So I went down to, I think, 20 health, but ended up just blinking the heck out of there as fast as I could at 20 health. So it was a wild ride, and for that, I very much enjoyed it. But I always have a tough time deciding. It's usually when I go back and like watch some of my tournament plays that I realize like, oh no, that's actually where I had the most fun, or was the most kind of drawn into the mix of things. But yeah, that's all the banners. My generalized thoughts on them all, if you could get through that verbal diarrhea of a rant. But I really enjoy the tournaments in general. I like to mention it every time that I find it super fun and very interesting, the way that it changes how you play in little ways here or there, the way it brings community members together, like even just starting our little clan and cheering each other on. So fun, so exciting, and I'm always looking forward to hearing from, AWOD, Brain, Colgate, how are your runs going? Are you making points for the team? It's okay if you're not. I don't care whatsoever about the competitive aspect, but it's fun to ask and fun to, cheer each other on and have a good time. My overall rank is 142 of 1,520. That actually kind of surprises me. I did not play very much, but I did okay, I guess. Did get 2 wins out of 4 runs. This one not counting because it was and is in progress still. But unfortunately, I didn't get quite as much time to play this tournament as I did in the last, but I did have a lot of fun in what little we were able to go in with, and I appreciated all the love and support from all you fantastic folk in chat when we were playing with those as well. Had a good time. I believe our clan, which, okay, I changed it because I made it March of the Tenguins, and then I asked all of our team members, and I got feedback. So I tried to change this, never took. Don't know what happened there. It was a bit of a weird one, so I guess we're just March of the Tenguins now. That's fine. We got to get a full team together next tournament. I would absolutely love to. It's always a little bit tough, especially since I'm not usually paying enough attention to when the tournament's coming up, and I should probably prepare a team in advance instead of, 2 days into the tournament scrambling. Like, who wants to join? Who wants what? But definitely had a good time. You didn't win a game, but you ended up 432 out of 1520. See, that surprises me. Yeah, I thought that you would be ahead of me, actually. I have no idea how this rank works. But hey, I'll take it. If they want to put me at 142, I'm not going to complain. It's no Yermak or no Geoff, but I will take whatever I can get. And yeah, with the team, of course, even though we didn't have a full squad to round out, we actually did fairly well. I believe we were in top half, which that's good enough for me. We look up here, Tengu, we were in the 113 total entries. That is 108. Yes, we are in the top half. Heck yeah. Perfect. I know that some of these didn't seem to update. Like, we had 3 wins. So I don't know what that's about. It might just be whoever has the most wins on your team. That would make sense, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, definitely great job, teammates. I very much appreciated getting to hear about everybody's experiences throughout the course of the tournament. I mean, at the top, of course, is going to be Yermak. Geoff is up there as well. Never know if it's Jeff or Geoff. But I'm like seeing Bob and Alice up here. Way to go, Bob and Alice. I know that we've occasionally had you around on stream. And nice to see somebody, a familiar face, in the top 10 leaderboard. That's really fun. One day, Yermak will be overthrown. Maybe one day I'll just go hardcore into the tournament and figure it out. You're 26th or 27th? You're 27th. Well done, 9th. That's fantastic work. Well done, well done. Me and team suck my devs. Wow, so nice. But absolutely fantastic, especially, yeah, as a solo player. Scored very well. Could have been better. Always could have been, but I'd celebrate the top entry there. I mean, yeah, again, this is 2,886 entries. You came 27th. That's pretty incredible. That's the top, like 99th percentile. Much better than me. We look it up again. Where am I? 142. So quite a ways down from your abilities, especially looking at the actual score here, 34 versus, I'm like at half of one of these top players. Shadow Rider, you edged out. Oh wow, at 25th. Way to go. Well done, well done. And you got all 78 uniques too. I like just looking at, whatever catches my eye here. It looks like 2 wins. Oh, is the max. Never mind. I was about to say is about all anyone got, but whoops. Oh, and win rate is interesting. So wait, what would my win rate be? Would it be 50? Win rate is 40, because it probably counts the run in progress. Maybe not to the same extent as a loss, but something like that. Interesting. Let's also see what was your streak lengths here. Yermak got 13, Acrobat got 18. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. 30 Nimlux choices from Yermak. That's what makes Yermak's play more impressive to me, is the fact that they often do kind of wacky combos. They take like suggestions from their audience. They do have all these Nimlux choices, and I think that adds a fun little twist on it all. Fun little mix, because hey, if you have a lot of experience in the game and you have a lot of time, more specifically a lot of time to kind of dedicate during the tournament, you can get a ridiculous amount of wins. I'm sure you could get a ridiculous amount of points, but to do so well, fooling around with Nimlux choices, making sure you're trying these weird combos, that's something else, and is commendable in its own respect. But absolutely fantastic. Let's go back to looking myself up. 12 cigarette floors with an atheist. Not too bad. And my banner collection got 21. Whoop whoop. It's something. But awesome. Nice little debriefing after the tournament here. I enjoyed kind of going through the various little bits and bobs here or there. And I very much look forward to the next tournament as well. I think this is... sorry for the sudden white screen. But this is my Minotaur. I was looking at this, whatchamacallit. this Morgs, he had no resistance to negativity, not the entire run, but everything else was just stacked across the board. Absolutely fantastic. Ended up switching to this armor, but we had that plus 11 scale mail super early on in the game. And these beautiful rings, oh my gosh, just look at that. Absolutely incredible, stupidly strong. Was able to have all these resistances just innately at any given moment. And I think in my Ziggurat dive, I got a +7 electric broadaxe, another electric one that I rebranded into Vorpal, so that was handy. But definitely had a good time on this entire run. I still had my Hydra killing mace with me at the end of the day. Very satisfying. Anyway, I won't go through the entire morgue here. Won't bore you completely with that, but regardless, this was a very fun character. I might at some point, I filmed just the end of the run, kind of escaping from the dungeon, going through my stats, just in case I ever wanted to add it on to a YouTube video or something like that. Might do that in the future. We'll have to see how it all goes down, but regardless, I think with that little overview, I believe we are done for the evening and officially done with the tournament. So huge congrats to everybody who participated in the .28 tournament. I hope you all had a fantastic time, achieved some of your personal goals, since your personal goals matter a whole lot more, in my opinion, than the kind of scores and all that good stuff, even though depends, hey, if your personal goal is to get a good score, then you do you and go nuts. Absolutely fantastic. But hope everybody had a lovely tournament. Hope you're all enjoying the new release. If you weren't playing with Trunk over the entirety of its development. And yeah, definitely hope to see you in the next one. We'll try more accurately. I'll try to be a bit more proactive next tournament and get a team together beforehand. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how much time I'm able to get in. I'm hoping I'm less busy because I really adore these tournaments. I find them super fun, very interesting, and I'm always hoping that I can just get more time. There's never enough time in the day, right? But regardless, again, big congrats to everyone. I hope you all had a lovely couple of weeks in the tournament. Oh, getting a bit of a lump in my throat right as we wrap up. Perfect timing, I guess, all things considered. Don't have to talk for another couple hours or anything. But regardless, I do hope you had a fantastic time. Thank you all again for the support. Thanks for coming out to the stream. We will do a quick check to see who is available for a raid, of course, as we are wont to do. I'm hoping somebody, even though always a little bit late on Sundays when you have a full time. And perfect, it does look like Brinth is currently on playing some Super Mario World. I believe that would be a Kaizo hack of one kind or another, so definitely stick around. Brinth streams, always a good time, fantastic personality, and quite good at Kaizo as well, which I know can be satisfying to watch, especially if you're a complete noob like me and have no idea how the magic of self-throwing shell bounces and whatnot actually works. So definitely stick around, check them out, show some love and support with the raid. But regardless of all that, I do, of course, hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you out there. And I definitely hope to see you sometime soon. I'll see ya.